Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Extremism is often a prerequisite to any change in attitudes, ideas that eventually permeate throughout the community or society in general. If you are about my age, you may remember a time when it was considered normal for people to wear fur coats. And there was a time where there was some extreme activism against people wearing fur coats, and this brought awareness of the cruelty to the animals and made people think about what went into the production of a fur coat. But this change didn't come about without some activism on the streets, with people, for example, throwing red paint over some Hollywood star's fur coat as they went to some glitzy event. It was this kind of activism which brought about awareness and eventually changed the general public's perception of what is normal, or at least it made people think about the things that they didn't think about before, or just took for granted. And so, in a way, we have, these are positive moves, positive developments, positive changes brought about by extremism, in a way. So, of course, this is what we see in Flat Earth. We see extreme views either side of the fence, and of course people end up arguing and calling each other names and telling each other they're brainwashed and you don't know anything, you're ignorant, blah, blah, blah. And it very quickly deteriorates to this fighting, which is really not what the Flat Earth realization is all about. It's quite the opposite. Well, that was my intention when I started talking about Flat Earth on my channel. It was having a realization that brings about a fundamental change in how you perceive reality. It's still real, it's still the same as it was before, still have to make money, but a massive, massive change comes about the way you approach life, because you become free of any constricting thoughts, ideas and beliefs about the way things are or should be. And so what happens with, or after Flat Earth realization, is this burning desire to just share the wonderful feeling of rediscovery, just like being a kid again, that floods back into your soul, your mind, your brain, your heart, and you just want to share that with people. You want to spread happiness. You don't want to spread ill will. Don't want to attack people and tell people they are wrong for believing in a certain way, or get into arguments. That wasn't the idea, but of course this is what happens, and it's a shame that we end up being even more divided by this topic, but it is obviously a very, very important topic, and one of the realizations we can have, or an inroad into a realization we can have about what life's all about, what we're all doing here. There was never any intention to argue with people defending the globe and get into bitter mudslinging matches. So I do try my best to avoid that, but unfortunately it does happen. Sarcasm gets bantered about, and it's a bit of a shame, because that's not what the point is. The point is to share this wonderful feeling, this breaking free of the mind. And whether you believe it or not, the Flat Earth, or whether you believe it that it's something that is possible, the whole idea is to have the ability to look at it from a new perspective, a perspective that does not involve relying on the things you've been told repeatedly, such as how or why gravity works. And it being an accident or a consequence of the universe being here, whereas it's just a case of flipping it around and understanding that it's, the universe is here for a reason, for whatever reason that may be. Later going to introduce you to a video of an Islamic person nearby who I interviewed, and he's got some things to say about why we're all here. That's, my intention has never been to get into bitter disputes and point people out and say, anything too extreme. But unfortunately, it gets to that point sometimes where you just have to say or do something extreme to get people to just, hey, think about it, or please, 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 before you argue about it, try to see it from this other perspective, which is not my point of view because I don't follow a model or I don't follow a particular. It's just the thing is there are so many known unknowns, and we can accept that if we can get used to that idea and have a bit of faith that there's some reason for us being here, and we are free to talk about why that might be, and maybe understand that science itself will never ever have an answer for that. And anyway, there are people that I'm debating with that are nice people who believe in the heliocentric model, the spinning ball Earth or whatever, and that's in a way fair enough. They're not, because they are being, they're basing that on their experience and their knowledge, and so you can't, there's no need to become angry and bitter and get into mudslinging matches with those people. So, but there's always a hope that one can just explain one's perspective and give them this opportunity to see everything in a whole new light, from a fresh new perspective that is invigorating. It's a new lease on life. The battery ran out, so I'm having to do this inside. So, to summarise, the whole flat Earth thing, for me, was never about arguing with people. It was just simply about wanting to share this wonderful feeling of waking up to the enormity of the artificial construct that has been imposed on the world, globalization, and we have gone in a direction that is just we are being dehumanized. We've been led to think, we're led to believe that there's, whether it's the two-party politics or wars, just everything, debt, chemicals in our food, everything. And, okay, flat Earth is just one piece of that, but for a lot of people it's the ultimate or kind of stepping stone to this final realization of the enormity of the scam that has gone on with humanity. I ask myself all the time, is this just the way it is, the yin and yang? Does it just have to be like this? What is good and what is evil? We instinctively know what the basic good things are, and 99.9% of humanity wishes to live in peace with the rest of humanity, regardless of what their beliefs are, regardless of what their specialities are, their education, their class, if you want to perceive things that way, whatever. We are all unique. We all have a special contribution to make. Every single one of us has a unique perspective on life. Personally, my intention was never to be confrontational. It was a sharing of this knowledge that is free to all of us if we will just allow ourselves to take off the shackles or take the time to really examine our beliefs. And my hope is that with this collective individualism, we bring about some real changes that benefit the entire world. Yeah, right now we're stuck. We've been sending rockets up since the 40s, 50s, and we still think we're at the peak of our technological development. That's absolute rubbish. With something like flat Earth realization and this disassociation from the whole idea that gravity rules everything, we instinctively know that there is a scientific and simple way for everyone to be benefiting from free energy. When you understand that frequency rules, then we can. Everything can be run on water. But the science is so compartmentalized that a physicist and a chemist will not get together and work things out. But to someone who's looking at it from the outside, the general public, those who are not necessarily scientifically minded or set in one particular compartment of science, can see the huge potential for the whole of humanity to benefit from simply changing the way we approach things, challenging what we know, asking ourselves if we can make it any better, any different. So, water has so many properties, including the ability to give us an abundance of free or cheap reusable energy. The fact that water will boil in a vacuum is huge, because it's not boiling, it's not cooking, but it's the gases in the water being extracted simply by reducing the pressure of the environment that the water is in, and you can release these gases. You don't have to use huge amounts of electricity to separate the water. You just make the air in the container with the water less dense, and boom, the gases come out to fill up that space. And then you can use frequencies to ignite and burn those gases at thousands of degrees. Aircraft could be filling up their wings with water instead of expensive jet fuel, and it wouldn't be doing any harm to the environment. Yeah? But people can't even conceive that this is possible unless they can detach from the conventional science that dictates our reality at the moment. We can do so much more. Right now they've got us looking at the stars and pretending that they know everything that's going on. All you have to do is accept that we don't know, and that there's this intelligent design here, so intelligent, what's obvious when you first look into flat Earth, if you will allow yourself, is that it can be perceived in a multitude of ways. This in itself, to me, says intelligent design. The fact that we can debate and not arrive at a conclusion, it seems, that the Earth is one shape or the other, or it works in one way or another, the universe works in one way or another, is a clear sign of this intelligent design. Some things we are just not supposed to understand while we're here, like where the stars are, what they are, and how they work. We might never work it out, but what's for sure is we've been told some bullshit stories about what they are, and told to focus our attention on, getting off this rock and leave behind our mess, when really what we should be doing is sorting out the mess that we've made. So yeah, I get angry at people who come along to my channel and go on about the Coriolis effect and blah blah blah. Full quartz pendulum and all that, and then say, you're running away from not answering it, because those questions have been thought about and answered thousands of times by thousands of people who have the ability to break away from conventional thinking, conditioning. So there is work to be done. If you're a parent, you understand that you have a job to do in life, to raise your kids. And as you get older, you have a responsibility to play a part in the community. And now, online, on YouTube, it's a global community. But the thing is, we have to come back to grassroots. We have to come back to the fundamentals, accepting that there is a limit to what we can know and what we can control. because this has been the mission of science and scientism, to predict and ultimately control, to conquer nature. This is what sunk the Titanic, you know, this whole kind of idea that you can, I know, I accept, you know, that there's the conspiracies about the Titanic, whatever, but the whole driving force behind a lot of science or scientific advancements is scientific retardation, a pointless, futile effort in making things massive and trying to control the environment and conquer nature and everything else, rather than realizing that it's actually the other way round. Nature has all the answers for us to live in peace, freely, with free minds, share, and become, if you like, a global village, but a decentralized one. One that is not based on, you know, the whole idea is to be able to lead yourself and find, you know, your own voyage of discovery, which will lead to amazing things. So it's always been my hope, by joining the Flat Earth voices, that we can bring about positive change, not run around in circles arguing about the science. Yeah, the fact is that geometry is used to define the globe. Geometry is not used to define flat Earth. It's the personal, individual perspective that is used. You want to argue about the sun? I don't know where the sun is, I don't know what it is, and, you know, if you want to go on about challenges with the equinox, I mean, that's just, you know, it is the way it is. It doesn't prove anything. The only thing it does prove is that everything just stays the same, always. It's not, we're not flying through infinite space haphazardly and going to get hit by an asteroid or something. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, this, you know, people are saying, "Oh, if you're a real truth seeker, you should be doing the Equinox show." What's there to do? I keep, you know, it's going to turn out to be what it is. You look east and you see the sunrise. So what? It doesn't prove anything, except that we're in a system that is designed for life to exist. And there's a reason. And we've all got a role, we've all got a part to play, even if you're not on board with the Flat Earth yet. But the point is not to be wasting time arguing about it, because that just develops animosity. Right, I'll try to finish this off now. So, yeah, extremism on either side of the debate is understandable, but to me it's not a debate anymore. There is a lot of work to be done in just basically getting people to think for themselves and question what they believe, and understand that there is so much more we can be doing to make this world a better place. Yeah, I want a utopia for my kids, for the next generation, and that should be all of our goals, every one of us. If we're arguing the toss about it, or you know, taking part in this retardation of advancement, then that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to just do what I can to make this world a better place. And there's a lot we can do, there's a lot of work to be done, and there are some very genuine people doing some genuine work out there. Everyone has a place, everyone has a contribution to make to the next generation and the generation beyond that. But if we just continue to ignore the crap, the diversions, the ego-driven scientism that runs our lives, and the psychopaths that run our lives, then we're going to leave the world in a very messy place for our kids. So I want to move forward. Thank you very much.